The rest of the world only sees their power. We see their weakness. We remind them that they are not gods.
I wouldn't think that Lana needed a reminder.
Well, she knows we want the same thing as her.
What's that?
To be airtight once you join the party. Welcome, one and all, to my continuing review of Amazon's Wheel of Time Season 2. We are on episode 4, where, here's what I kept saying to myself as I watched this. What am I watching? Because it sure as hell ain't Wheel of Time. They have successfully, in this episode, broken almost every character. Nobody is on their proper storyline. No one is behaving as they should. And these events that they're putting together to get us to where you're supposed to be at the end of the story are so lame and so poorly executed when you realize what they're cutting out in order to make it happen. It boggles the mind. It really does. I don't know what else to say before we get into it. This really is an abomination. And anybody that forgives it or pretends it's okay and tells us just to shut up, why can't you let us enjoy it? You have a problem. You have a problem and you should seek help. Because you're living in a weird reality where butchering a story as they've done with all their excuses of, we have to change things. We can't follow the books. A lot of this would be very easily accomplished. And when I say this, I mean these story plots, these things moving around. You wouldn't have all the problems you have if you just followed the basic storylines. Hell, Netflix managed to do it with One Piece live action. Not perfect, but they still hit all the proper points. And it was still One Piece, even though a little watered down. This is an atrocity. It's an insult to Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. Want to find out why? Let's get going. We got 6 breakdowns here. 2 of our main real heroes, Perrin and Matt. Matt is literally in this for less than a minute. Perrin gets one scene where, again, he does absolutely nothing except be a pale imitation of his book character. And then Rand gets led around by the nose so that he can have a bunch of snoo. That's it. That's Rand. And then we have a bastardized version of certain things at the end of that. And that's a total maybe of, I would say, 15 minutes in the episode. Who's in the other 40-odd minutes? All the Whammons! All the Whammons with their botched storylines. It's not even as though we're watching the ladies have their proper stories. We're watching butchered abomination versions. They're all off the reservation now. They're all off the rails. Let's get into it. We start with our boy Perrin. What's his story? Dunno.
Aes Sedai don't trust what they don't understand. Neither does any other human.
Right. Perrin. This won't take very long. So we got race swap Perrin. We got race swapped Elias walking down a path. Perrin complaining, "Oh, can't we go rescue everybody?" Elias going, "Oh, I rescued you. You're the one that matters." That's it on that part. They continue going down. Perrin basically bugging him. What are we? What are we? Why'd you rescue me? We're Wolf Brothers. Hey, the term has been used. Don't you feel like it's book now? They use the term Wolf Brothers. That's kind of it on that. I mean, that's really it. They ramble. They talk. We get a bastardized version of wolf speak where we see images. I guess that's how I guess the wolves can see the past through their images. And we know that the wolves in the books use the dream world to communicate, but they're not even going to use that to justify how this works in this. They just say it, that's how we communicate. We cut to the wolves eating the elk they saw in the image that they said, "Oh, we're hunting this." Elias chastises him for eating cooked meat. Oh, you'll grow out of eating cooked meat soon enough. Then they have a nice conversation about what it means to be a wolf brother. You saw it in the transition clip. Gotta be careful. The Aes Sedai, they don't trust anything they don't understand, and neither do humans. Well, what do we do? Well, we simply be with the wolves. Am I going to look like them? No, you're not. Stop being silly. Does he have a name? He's talking about the wolf next to him. He'll tell you when he feels like it. Oh, I have a vision. He's hopping around. Oh, his name is Hopper. Yeah, famous wolf character from the book. Oh, well, that's close enough. We're done. That's Perrin. Perrin did nothing. Accomplished nothing. No axe, no hammer, no dichotomy. Just cooking meat, talking with Gray Swapped Elias and Hopper. Are we having fun yet? No.
Will we be happy together?
What will I be when I grow older? No!
40-year-old Asian Min and not Matt. Let's get this one over really quickly. We find them in a bar. Matt's rolling dice. Look, Matt's gambling. Isn't that fun? You know, Matt likes to gamble, except we have no explanation of his luck or anything, and apparently he's losing to 40-year-old Asian Min, because that's what happens. Of course he's going to lose to a woman's. They have a little back and forth. I'm tired. Let's get a room together. I'm Matt, and I like to screw women. Oh, but no, not for you, young man. You can't have 40-year-old Asian Min. She's not meant for anybody, because she's 40-year-old Asian Min. She's her own woman, and it gets even worse. Min teases him, oh, I'm going to use my money to get us separate rooms. Buys a bunch of liquor, a liquor tab, puts a liquor tab on for him with the bartender, because she wants to get him drunk, so drunk he's going to pass out. We skip, and also she informs the tavern keeper to expect her associates to arrive and to send them to her room in the attic when they get there. Later on, we come back, and Min is having a nightmare. She wakes up. Oh, no. Two crusty-looking ladies pick her up and put her in a chair where she relives being a fortune teller. All right, we'll stop right here for a moment before we get to the really, really bad part. So according to Amazon Wheel of Time, Rafe Judkins and his crew of misfits, Min is now a gypsy fortune teller with her Asian aunts. As opposed to actual Min, in the real book, Min comes from an aristocratic family. She's a noble woman who didn't want to be a noble woman, even though her aunts tried to make her a lady. But she ran away, and she lived a free life until Moiraine found her, and the Amaranth found her, and they used her talents. She was never afraid of her ability, and she was never forced by her aunts to be a fortune teller. It's ridiculous. It's a bullshit, and it's just so stupid. It's dumb. You just ruined her entire backstory in 3 seconds. How do you like that? But it gets worse. So as she's sitting there suffering these living nightmares of what she used to be forced to do by her bad aunts as a fortune teller, suddenly you hear a familiar voice. Oh, it's Ishii. Ishii has come. Now, remember, Liandrin sent her on her way here. This pretty much proves they are at least remaining with Liandrin going to be Black Aja. She sent them into Ishii's grasp. Ishii is there, and we now learn that 40-year-old Asian Min has made a deal with Liandrin and Ishii that if she gives them Matt, they will remove the curse of her visions. That's right. Min has made a dark friend deal. 40-year-old Asian Min is a dark friend, essentially. Let that sink in for a moment. Min is a dark friend. She is ready to betray them. Oh, I don't want to hurt Matt, but you're going to, says Ishii, because we're going to remove your curse like we promised. Min's character was already poorly adapted, but now it's completely broken, completely shattered. This is not Min. This is a 40-year-old Asian woman pretending to be Min. Ay, ay, ay. That's it. We're done with these two. Moving on.
When Lana first bonded me, it was miserable for everyone. I didn't like having an audience in my head, and she didn't like the show. So, the three of us talked it through, and we decided that she would mask her bond with me. Except in battle, in bed.
If you haven't already noticed by now, we are in full CW mode with this episode. Everybody is sitting and talking, walking and talking, crying and talking, weeping and talking. It will keep going on and on and on. Very little happens action-wise. And, well, you know what? We expect that. We expect that. It's Amazon's Wheel of Time. Anywho, here we are. Time for Lan and the ambiguously gay trio. Well, we are now in random Indian village. That's Alana's hometown. Random Indian village in the middle of this world, where they're letting Lan recuperate from his bond being taken away, because they're keeping an eye on him because he doesn't commit suicide. See, that's an actual thing from Wheel of Time. Remember, we talked about it last season when a bunch of Aes Sedai died during the Logain breakout thing that never actually happened in the book, and made up Warder had his Aes Sedai killed, and he killed himself because he didn't want to join the ambiguously gay trio. That was an actual death and a bond being broken, which sends a Warder into depression where they either kill themselves or walk off into the Blight to kill as many Trollocs as they can. Lan has just had his removed, so it's not the same, but they still want to watch him to make sure he doesn't Minecraft himself. Well, they are at dinner, it's lunch, where everybody makes fun of how old Alana is, and everybody's trying to make sure Lan eats enough food. Isn't this exciting? Are we having fun? We eventually get to Alana and Lan having a little walk and talk. Again, walking and talking about how are you doing? Are you okay? Are you ready to move on? You know, Nynaeve's been accepted by now. You can be her warder. Now, let's just put a stop to that right here, because I want to remind everybody who might not understand what's going on, and those who do know what's going on. In the books, after Moiraine sacrifices herself to save Rand, Lan, I say Lan because of Han in my head. Give me a break. Lan's bond was still intact with her. She never undid it, and no one could undo it. So we get a very long stretch in the book where Moiraine isn't there, and Lan is on his own without her. But what does he do? He does return to the tower during the Civil War of the Tower, where Nynaeve is on Egwene's side. And Nynaeve is a full sister, so she can take a warder. Problem is, she can't take his bond, but that doesn't stop them from getting married. You see, suddenly, you've ruined a future plot point where Lan gives himself to Nynaeve. Because in the books, they hadn't done the dirty deed yet. They didn't screw on a first date like they did in this abomination. In the books, it's very important that Lan understands, and Nynaeve understands, that even though he can't give her his bond, Moiraine cannot transfer the bond to her, that he's giving himself to her with his heart and his soul. And that's enough for Nynaeve to break through her blockage and be able to crap out the one source whenever she needs to, the one power whenever she needs to. I keep wanting to say true source one power. I mixed it up there. Well, you know what I'm saying. You've just ruined a very important moment by having him be now unbonded, and the significance of him still being bonded to Moiraine, but giving Nynaeve his heart and soul, his love. And that's all she needed. She wants the bond, but what she really just needed was his love. So this has now been ruined. It was ruined last season, and it's ruined even more now. Moving on. They have this stupid conversation about get ready to move on, and then have a really dumb conversation about how Moiraine was once not so cold. Wow. Isn't this thrilling? Well, when we come back to random Indian village in the middle of this world, Lan is now helping one of the ambiguously gay trio get water for cooking for dinner, this and that, and they have a conversation about bonds. You saw it in my transition clip. They just can't help but force the ambiguously gay trio on us that they like to have sex with each other. And that we have to learn to accept one another. I'm sorry. You're blatant with your goddamn agenda messaging. Just shut up. Just shut up. Pointless conversation about bonds and needing to give it time and understand that the Aes Sedai do things for a reason. Well, we get another sitting and talking conversation when we come back. Now, the black member of the ambiguously gay trio has a talk with him about how we have to let the Aes Sedai have their space, but we're here to ground them because we're not their equals. We're not their equals. We're here to make sure they don't realize they're gods. It's an insanely stupid conversation about nothing. Nothing at all. It's filler. This is all pointless filler. Because we finally end the ambiguously gay trio segment with Lan. They're basically keeping him busy so they can go through his stuff. And we finally get that letter that Moiraine got last episode where it got her all nervous she had to run away. Apparently, the letter reveals that, and this is how I guess this is how she knew that Ishii was Ishii. Apparently, this letter tells her from who? I don't know. Where's the information comes from? Just accept it. That Ishii's out there releasing the other Forsaken, and he's released Lanfear. We'll get back to that in the next segment. Or no, it's actually 2 segments from now. We'll get back to that in a little bit. This is ridiculous. That's it. That was this entire segment when you put it all together. What am I watching here? What am I doing? Well, I'm doing this so you don't have to. All right. On to our not-so-heroine trio.
Why do you feel like you have to fix it?
Because I'm her friend. She was there for me last year when I lost. Someone I love more than anything. And I only got through it because I had her to hold me up. Even though she was hurting too.
Are you ready for the next complete lore break that's about to happen? With this little fun plot arc in this episode here, we can now completely confirm Black Aja Hunt, not happening. The event that causes Egwene, Elaine, and Nynaeve to really bond with one another as a unit, not happening. Skipping over it, don't worry. We've come up with a contrivance just to get them to Falm, because that's where they're going to head to, Falm. But we start with Nynaeve all mad sads in bed because apparently she can't let go of what she saw in the arches, which means she failed her test. She failed if she cannot let go. She cannot be accepted because that was part of the test. You must be willing to sacrifice in order to become a sister. Sorry. We're not playing it like that here. We need Sad's Nynaeve, who is not Nynaeve at all. This is sad, weepy, moany Nynaeve, not bitch on wheels, who we really love to root for, even though she pisses us off sometimes, Nynaeve. Nope. Sad, mad, sad Nynaeve. Knock on the door. Oh, look, it's Molly. Hi, Molly. I brought you some sweet cake. Did I get big cake? I'm so glad you're here. Let me hug you. I'm here now. It's over. It was all pretend. You can be okay now. See, that's where they're pushing this retarded storyline, dragging it on for no goddamn reason. All so that we can have Leandrin, Chinny McChin Leandrin, get in Nynaeve's heaven and manipulate it and create a new path to Falm that doesn't involve the Black Aja Hunt, because we haven't seen the Amyrlin yet this episode. Well, meanwhile, I'm jumping in Leandrin stuff to this because this is where it goes. Leandrin goes and sees Asian Leanne. Remember, Leanne is Asian in this one, as opposed to just being a copper-skinned Damani in the books. She's Asian. Don't you love diversity? Goes to sees Asian Leanne and basically finds out for us about the sentient invasion and how the sisters are basically ignoring it or have sent people, haven't heard it. Anyway, it's all now. That's our excuse for what Leandrin does. Leandrin spots Nynaeve talking to warders while training. She went to look for the ambiguously gay duo so she could have another training exercise chat, because that's what we do. We chat in this show. We just talk. We go over our feelings. He's not there. It's this black water, this muscular black water hits on her. I can be your warder. She runs away, scurries away, only to go find a place to sit that just happens to be in front of the arches. Yes, we're back at the arches. Why? Because she can't let it go. She can't let it go. Here comes Leandrin to have a sitsy-downsy talks with her. And we get this whole mumbo-jumbo about finding things to attach your love to when the things you love are taken away from you. I have to let my son go. He's 90. You have to find the things to let go. It's boring. It's stupid, and it's not these characters. It's not these characters at all. And this is where Chinny McChinchin lets Mad Sad's Nynaeve know that Perrin and a bunch of Shienarans and Loyal have been captured by the Sentient. Now, by saying Shienarans, that makes her think, oh no, Lan's there maybe. So now, here's our excuse to send the heroine trio to Falm, even though we're not doing the Black Aja hunt. Black Aja, never even mentioned yet. We now cut to Elaine and Egwene mopping and talking about, oh, I'm so sad that Nynaeve won't accept my love for her because she was there for me when I lost my big love. You see, I'm pretty much convinced now, as others are as well, that we are going to get screwed over with all the proper romance and pairings in this series, in this franchise, in this IP. No Gawain, no Galad, which means no boys hot for Egwene, because now Egwene only has eyes for Rand. Elaine, she's just a periphery thing here. She's here to throw out one-liners of support. That's why she's here. She hasn't done anything. She has no character build-up. We don't know. She has no connection to anything else because she just arrived. We didn't get her pre-stuff from Eye of the World. So she's just here to give advice, and that's all she does, give advice. Give her time. Well, now, after this, we eventually get to them drinking in Elaine's room again. Nynaeve bursts in. This is my room, you know. You shut up. We have no relationship whatsoever, so I'm just going to be a bitch to you for no reason. Nynaeve tells Egwene about what happened with Perrin and Loyal, and now I'm going to go save them. Right. So now they're off on the mission. They're going to go to Falm. How? We have a secret passage. It's going to take us a long time to get there. Then Elaine appears. I'm going with you. Blah, blah, blah. Then Leandrin, Chinny Chin appears, busts them, and blasts them with a wind weave to knock them all out. Because now, here's where we're going to pick up. See, originally, it's the Black Aja hunt. The girls get caught while trying to find the Black Aja, and Leandrin ships them off to Falm as slaves, as trade to Lady Suroth, so they can be Damane. See, yeah, that's how it worked in the book. They got kidnapped that way while on the Black Aja hunt. Now they're just plain old lured into it, and Leandrin sends them off. So that's how they're doing this. That's it. So let's just recap real quick. Elaine is a non-entity. All her charm, all her loveliness, all her I'm unsure of myself because my brothers are here also. All this I love Rand stuff, not there. So she's just there to give supportive words once in a while. Egwene is a whiny bitch who still loves to go over Rand because she never was lovesick over Rand. Is so unsure of herself. She's so afraid of Nynaeve. She's intimidated by Nynaeve's power, but now also at the same time, she wants to be there for Nynaeve because Nynaeve was there for her. None of this. I'm on my mission to be awesome, to be a kick-ass sister, and to hunt Black Aja. All her agency has been taken away from her, but not by men, by women. By women. Nynaeve is a broken down, weepy little bitch. She's weepy. She's sadsies. She's I miss my phantom fake daughter. That's it. That's Nynaeve now. Where are the characters I know from the book? They sure as hell ain't in this show. Right, let's go on to Moiraine's made-up bullshit.
This is not your house. This is not your city. And I'm not your little sister anymore. All the eyes and ears you had here, they're mine now.
Moiraine. What do we have to say about Moiraine? It's all made up. This is more complete and total fan fiction. In the real books, in The Great Hunt, Moraine's not even in The Great Hunt. In that, she's not even in that book. She doesn't come back till Dragon Reborn, when she and Perrin are looking for Rand, who's run off, who's not even in that book until the very end. No, in this one, Moiraine, still tied off from the source, runs back to Carrion, and now goes to visit her old lady sister. Turns out this old lady from last episode is her younger sister, who was left to deal with all the family problems, and Moiraine went off to be a sister. She comes in, and it's just, hi, awkward family reunion. Yay, let's all feel the tension. That's it. It's, oh, you're back after all this time. Oh, I'm sorry you had to carry the load of the family being destroyed after I left. Sorry. Oh, okay, yeah, it's great. It's mind-numbingly stupid. It's CW trash. We get a quick scene of Moiraine in her room, getting all dolled up, looking through her things, and then stealing a bottle of Gelden Red, because now she goes to the sanitarium, to the asylum, finds out that Rand has been there, because she knows that apparently she's the one that sent him there in the first place, because now she's gonna have a chitty chat with Logain. I'm gonna boil this scene down real quick. She tells Logain to train Rand, to tell him everything he wants to know. So it looks like they're still going to be pushing Rand getting trained by Logain, or at least in some way, fashion. It might not be, that's in question by the end of the episode, but it's still something that they're clearly trying to do. Asmodine, not happening. I can feel that now, ain't happening, because they've just, by the end of this episode, they have bullshit their way into a corner. They've painted themselves into a corner with having proper training for Rand. We'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there. We got Rand's segment after this. We then follow Moiraine around town after... Oh, I forgot, sorry. She promises Logain that she'll give him a knife so he can off himself. That's her promise if he trains Rand. Are we having fun yet? Now Moiraine goes off to town, trying to find bits and pieces of Rand. Nobody's giving her any information. Why? Well, she comes home, and her sister has a sit-down with her, and basically, I showed you in the transition clip, bullies her. All your spies now work for me. You have to do what I say, little sister, and we're going to do that when you sit down and have tea with me, because I'm not intimidated anymore by you. I don't need your approval anymore. Are we having fun with Moiraine family drama? I'm not. Moiraine then gets her answer about where Rand is off camera. And that's Moraine's section in this. Isn't this fun? She basically goes through a CW bad Game of Thrones ripoff. All your spies are my spies. Our family problems. Hey, if you want to, I'm going to make you do something. If you get to do something, do what I tell you to do. Then I'll give you the knife and you can Minecraft yourself. And just, this is so boring and such a downgrade of a character from the books. The woman who had a plan, the woman who's ready to sacrifice everything, the woman who learns her future and doesn't run away from it. Now, Moiraine has one more part in this, but that's part of Rand's stuff, so we're going to move on, because what else can I say? Moiraine has been ruined. She's utterly ruined. not fun.
He was the first man I ever loved. The only, actually. Powerful, confident, arrogant, really. With eyes that could fix everything in its place.
Sounds a bit boring.
For our final bit of fanfic hour here, we will now go back to the very beginning of the episode, the prologue, where we had Ishi wandering around. Would I have to guess, if you understand how the book lore works, this has to be Sheol Ghul. Because that's where the Forsaken were all sealed, at Sheol Ghul. Because there he is, breaking out Lanfear. And this is supposed to be the big reveal that Selene is Lanfear. Oh, I'm sorry, did I spoil that for you? I spoiled it last review, so shut up. Anywho, he breaks around, and for some reason, she's covered in blood and naked. Whatever. Rand, in his made-up bullshit now, it's post-fire from where he burned down the inn. Selene Lanfear comes up to him, gives him this big thing. Where are you going to stay now? Oh, your room's gone. I'm going to go up to a mountains. Want to come with me? We can have lots of sex. And she talks him into going up to the mountains to have lots of sex. That's basically it. You don't want to be around me right now. I'm in a bad place, because he feels guilty about setting everything on fire. He fears the madness, even though he never really talks about it that much. Fine. Whatever. When we come back to them, they're on their little walk up the mountain path, and they have this really, well, you saw it in the transition clip, this really boring conversation. This is really more about Selene than anybody else. Selene Lanfear. It's more about her than Rand in this little episode plot arc. She goes on and on about her first love, which is, of course, Louis Theron Telamon, who is, of course, the dragon, and Rand is his reincarnation, which is why she's obsessed with him. Going on and on about how, I loved him so much. I loved him this and that. He could do this, do that. But we're not going to talk about that. We're here together. Rand looks at her, says, it's so peaceful up here. All my friends wanted high adventure, and I just want peace and quiet. Nothing happens. They're walking and talking. That is the boiled down nutshell of their conversation. It's about relationships and wanting peace and quiet in life. And seeing somebody for what they are, because that's what this is. Because when we come back to them, it's the middle of the night. They've reached the cabin. They're sleeping out under the stars. Rand wakes up. Oh, look, it's a Fade. A Myrddraal's attacking. It easily disarms Rand. He goes at him, but then Rand, trying to protect Selene, uses the one power and uses the one and fries the Myrddraal. Turns it to greased bacon. Selene Lanfear pretends to be shocked. What are you? I'm not mad. I promise. Can you still love me? You love me? Oh, you love me. Oh. This is why I said earlier, I feel as though they are going to totally screw over all the relationships in this show. Because Rand never loves Lanfear. He fears her. Because he knows what would happen if he let himself be consumed by her. He would lose himself in her beauty and her power. He would cease to be Rand. He would be nothing but her thrall. He doesn't want to that. So having them be together ruins all kinds of future storylines like I talked about previous reviews. Still, they have this whole conversation, and then Lanfear gives this whole speech about the man I used to love. He looked into me, and eventually he saw past what I tried to be for him to the darkness inside me, and he couldn't look anymore. But you and I, we love each other, and we can learn to love all of each other. You have to give people the chance to love all of you. Then they go inside to have sex, and she ties him up to the board, because apparently now Rand is into that. Little into being tied up. Okay, whatever your kink is, not going to shame. Ties him up, and as she begins to, she starts to summon the one power, and then right as he's asking her what's going on, boom, sword through the chest, or what no chest she has, because this chick has no boobs. she falls to the ground, apparently dead, and there's Moiraine frees Rand from his bindings, and then Rand throws her up against the wall with the power, goes to choke her, demanding, why did you kill her? You killed her, I love her. You can't love her, we have to run because she's Lanfear. Now this is tying up at the end of the episode where everybody's discovering that that's what she's afraid of because of Lanfear. I can't kill her, she's unkillable, she's Lanfear, the worst of the Forsaken. And that's a debate left for another day. One of the most powerful? Yes, but the worst? Don't know. And then she convinces Rand they have to run, and then they run as Lanfear starts to regenerate. Now, this is all such bullshit because as powerful as the Forsaken are, whatever body they currently inhabit, because as we learn in the books, if they get killed, the Dark One can resurrect them in a new body. No problem. Their bodies are not immortal. Their souls are immortal. So that right there, what Moiraine did, that should kill Lanfear. She is dead. You can kill her. Now, this is, of course, a bastardization, and I don't know if they're going to do this later on, because, again, this is that it would be 4 books too early. Not till way later, where Moraine's big sacrifice is to remove Lanfear from the chessboard for a time by dragging her through a portal into another dimension. Because at the time, Rand and everybody else, they couldn't stand up there. And at that point, Lanfear had enough. She was about to take Rand and whatever. Or after we read that. I haven't reread that part in a while, but that's how I remember it. Lanfear was about to change the game. And Moiraine, who had seen her future when she went to the Fox people, she had seen her future when she goes to Ruidian. I always say that wrong. Ruidian. When she goes to Ruidian and sees her, knows her future, that her future is to take Lanfear off the board and possibly die. So this seems like a bastardized version of it, or they're leading up to a bastardized version, because at this rate, no one's going to make it to Ruidian. No one's going to make it there. I don't know how. Right. That's it. That's the episode. How have we had fun? I hope you've had fun watching this. I'm brain dead right now.
You killed her. I haven't. I couldn't. Because that is Lanfear, daughter of the night. The most dangerous of the Forsaken.
There we have it. Another episode in the books. This is complete and total fan fiction. It really is. I don't know how else to describe it. It is made up by Rafe Judkins and his team of Mongoloids. They are not adapting Wheel of Time. They are adapting their own creation. And next week we're going to get race-swapped Avienda. Another Uggo joins the cast. Yeah, I said it. She's ugly. They're all ugly. The only one that's remotely attractive is the chick playing Elaine, and, she's about a 7, in my opinion. She's not that great. There's no beautiful women in this movie in a story that's filled with beautiful women and masculine men. We have no masculine men in this. We have a bunch of cuck beta males. Rand is a cuck. He's a simp. Perrin is a open-mouthed moron walk around. Matt's non-existent. Lan, he's a mopey cuck. He's a mopey beta. Then we have the bisexual duo. There are no men in this. There are no masculine men in this. There's no beautiful women in it. There's no Wheel of Time in this. None of these stories that happened in this episode happen in the book. They're all bastardization versions. There's no Black Aja hunt. No one's even hunting the Great Horn anymore. What's going on with that? That's done. It's over. There's no one tracking it. Everybody's been captured. Who was tracking it? Perrin, he doesn't even have a story so far. I am a wolf brother. I see your name's Hopper. That's it. Matt, we saw him roll dice. Hey, Matt rolled dice. There you go. Where's the story? Where are the characters? Are they going to do anything except walk and talk? 54 minutes of walking, sitting, chatting, talking, crying, weeping, me. That's all this was. That's all this was. Before I go, though, I just remembered I have to make a remark in regards to last episode's review. I should have done this at the beginning of the review, but I forgot, and I'm not re-recording that. I made a mistake last review when I said there was about queens. There's more than just more gays. I apologize. My memory is not perfect on this series. I haven't read it as many times as a lot of other people have, and even with my memory, with the amount of information and characters, over 2,000 characters, even my memory, even I'm going to forget shit. So I made that mistake. I apologize. I got it wrong. I admit that. All right, there. We're done. We're finished. I'll see you next week with episode 5. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button. If you're new here, check out the channel. Subscribe if you like it. Thank you again. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, @theranernerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.